Hello everyone, it's Helen H and welcome back to my channel, Moss Cottage. This is part 2 of my jelly plate playing, and while I had everything out, I wanted to go ahead and do some more jelly plating. What I showed you in the first video was pretty much doing one layer with color and like this, and just doing one layer. So this was one pull right here. I had put the color on, then I put the stamp on, put the paper on, and then pulled it off. So what I thought I would do today, or in this video, is to carry on and use some of the jelly plates I've made in the past and earlier today to add a second layer, to add some more color and more texture. So I've got a pile next to me here of meh jelly plates that really need some more work. This side actually I like. It's got yellows, greens, blues, and then it's pulled up some brown gunk from other jelly plating sessions, and I really like that. But this side is kind of, kind of plain here. So we're going to go ahead and add some different colors. Now, what I have in this one is like blues and greens with the white showing through. So I really want to add some bright color on top of that. So let me see what I've got here. I've got this brilliant red. We can do that. And then maybe, let me see if I have an orange too, but I think that might be too close to the brilliant red. Okay, I've got this other orange here. So let's go ahead and add another layer, because if your jelly plate, like sometimes this might be all you want, that's enough. You don't need any more color or anything than that. But sometimes you're going to have super ugly jelly plates, or jelly prints that are just kind of meh, they're not that great. So you want to add some more dimension to them. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay down a little bit of these bright colors, and we'll see if we can't do something with that. And here's the thing, guys. I've made some really ugly jelly plates and jelly prints, sorry. And it's paper. That's all I'm going to say. It's just a piece of paper. If you really hate it, you can throw it away. But a lot of times you can salvage it by just keep at it. Keep adding layers. And you'd be amazed how they change once you add a different color to them. They really can get quite nice looking. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on some of these orangey colors, and then we're going to fade kind of up into, well, not fade because red's brighter than orange, but we're going to get up into the red up here. And this first one that I'm going to do, this one I keep showing you, has like I think what that was maybe corrugated cardboard or something that I had used to stamp that one. This one I didn't do today. I did this a while ago. And I think it was maybe corrugated cardboard or something. So I'm going to use a different pattern on top of that, and we'll see if it shows through. So what I have is this little one here. I used this one while in between this video and the other video that I made just previous to this one. And I'm just going to use this. Now when you're doing a stamp on a jelly plate, and probably with a stencil too, even though you can see I didn't use a lot of paint, you can see through my paint, but the stamps can slip and blur. So I mean, like I said, it's not the end of the world, but if you want a crisp image, just be careful, because it might blur a little bit, slide and blur. But see, isn't that a cool stamp? And again, this is just one that I made with the fun foam, but I love the way that looks. And I'm saving my roll-off sheets. I'll jelly print on the other side, and then I'll have two sides. So if I want to make an art journal, I'll have both sides done. But if I like the back, I'm going to use it. So let's see what this looks like if I add the red. It might be a total disaster. I have no idea. So we're just going to take a look and see. It shouldn't be too bad because the green and blue that I put underneath were dry. They were not done today. I mean, even using acrylic paints, if you let it dry like 10 minutes, it should be okay. But it's not wet where you're mixing green and red together because you'll get brown. So let's see. This could be a total disaster. I hope not, because this side's kind of neat. And I'd like to put it in a journal. Oh no, it's not a disaster at all. Okay. It's actually quite neat. You know, if you think of Dina Weekly and Diana Reevely, they use lots of color. This is actually really cool. I like the way this came out. It's very bright now with lots of color. Now see, if I wanted, I could let this dry and then go over it again with even more color, you know, but I think I actually like this one the way it came out like that. So now I've got the front and back that I like. So I'll show you, I will make these into a little journal, art journal. Again, I was inspired by that, to do that by Suzanne, from Suzanne Rose Art. And she showed how to use your jelly prints to make a little journal. So let's go ahead and do another one. I've got this one right here. It is kind of blue. I think I must have done this one today. I think I did. It's blue and it's got the alphabet on it. And then this side is kind of brown and white and green. And this side I was actually using just to pull up gunk from my jelly, you know, pull up the paint from my jelly plate. So let's go ahead and add some color to that. And I'm going to try something I haven't done before. I'm actually going to switch over to this bright pink for a minute. I'm going to just, I haven't seen anybody else do this. I'm not saying that nobody else has done this. I just haven't seen them do it. I'm just going to put some paint on it in some odd spots. I'm just going to add some accents to that. I'm not going to do a whole print. I just want to put some color, extra color on top there. So let's see what happens if I do that. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here, people. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, it's just going to put some pink on it. But this is, I just thought about this. It's like, what if you don't want the whole thing to be covered by the top color? Then you don't have to cover the whole plate with it. You can just go ahead and cover a part of it. So let's see how that turns out. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, see, it just put it right where I put it on the plate, which is what I expected it to do. But it just adds enough, like some spots of color. So I'm gonna let this dry and then I might put some orange or something on top of that one. So let's go on here. I made this one earlier too. And I don't think I made this on camera with you guys, but I've been playing around. Let's go ahead and add some color to that one. I think what I want on that one, let's go a little bold here. Let's add some dark blue. Maybe we'll add some dark blue and some white. And what else? What else, Helen? What do you want to add? Let's add some, no, that's the brilliant red. Let's add some of this orange here. And I gotta keep the blue and the orange apart or I will probably end up with mud. But that's okay. Let's try it, see what happens. This is a dark blue, but I put it on very thin and I can see, I'm not sure, yeah, you can see it in the camera that you can see my tablecloth underneath. And by the way, if you're working with a jelly plate, you probably will want to cover what's underneath, like your table or the surface that you're working on. And this tablecloth, I mean, see, I get paint all over it, I don't care. This tablecloth is great, but it's one of those Dollar Tree flannel-backed tablecloths. I mean, it's very thin. It's not something I would, you know, maybe have at a dinner party, but it works great on the jelly plate. And what I do when I'm done jelly plating, I just take it out the door and shake it off. and then fold it up, and I don't care if it's all painty, it was $1, right? See, so I'm rolling this off, and even these prints are looking kind of cool when you get enough color on them. So let's go ahead and put a design on this. Let's go back to maybe our circles and do some of those and see how that works. And this is the fun thing about jelly printing, whatever the term would be, is you're just playing and seeing what happens. And the funny thing is, a lot of times I'll get like a brilliant result of something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that, but I'll never remember what I did. Never be able to repeat it. So now I've got this messy thing. So I'm going to stamp it on my brayer paper. And I'll show it to you in 1 second. I know it's off the camera. I just don't have enough room here. So I just stamped it off on my sheet here. So I'm making that sheet look good too. All right, so let's see what happens, folks, if we go ahead and take this one. It's got kind of blue and fades to magenta, and we're going to add it to these bright colors, and we're just going to see what happens. I feel like there should be a drum roll when I peel it up. Or I might be like, oh no, that's terrible. Then I'll try to redeem it, and if I can't redeem it, well then, you know, it can just go. It's a piece of ratty paper, who cares, right? But it's all a learning process, and it's very relaxing to just make tons of prints. All right, so pull this up. All right. That's kind of interesting. I know the camera's not really picking up how cool this is, but you got bits of different colors and stuff poking through. It's actually quite interesting. So that's not bad. We'll put that one over there to dry. Now I've got still a lot of goo on there, so we're going to do another white, just white, and we're going to pick up some of that color. And you can use all kinds of mediums on your jelly plate. You don't have to just use acrylic paint, which I've used today, but that's just, you know, where I think a lot of beginners would want to start with acrylic paint. But you can use watercolors, watercolor crayons, watercolor, these like powders. Those are the ones I got from Vicki Boutin, and I was playing with those a little bit in between these two videos, and I want to say I really want to love these because they're so super pigmented and the colors are beautiful, but I just don't think that they are necessary because Vicki Boutin's has watercolor crayons and actual watercolors which are so beautiful and work so well. I think these powders are actually redundant. So I'm still trying to love them, and I'm not. All right, so here we have a pretty, let's see which one we got. Let's go with this one. This one's like just, yeah, it's browns and it's greens, and I mean, it was meant to be brown and green. I didn't make mud. I had actually put brown on the plate. Let's see what happens if we use this. And one other thing I wanted to say, I'm not going to keep you long, but one thing I wanted to say about the jelly plate, to remember when you're putting things on your jelly plate, the color you put down first is going, like on the plate itself, is going to be what you see the most. So if you, because that's going to be the top layer when you pull it off. The color you put on the background is going to be underneath that. So if you layer your colors, you want to know that the first thing you put down onto the plate that actually touches the surface of the plate, that is what's going to be the outer, you know, on the surface of the paper. I think that's probably self-evident, but unless you really think about it, it may not be. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to pull it up too fast because I don't want to rip it. Okay, so that actually made it a little better. It made it a little more palatable. Again, I don't know if you can see, but it did pull up some of the reds and oranges that were stuck and mixed it in with the greens and made it look a little bit better. So I'm just going to be using all of these sheets when they dry. I'm going to be using them for a art journal, and I will certainly make a video on that. But I want to just show you real quick a couple of the ones that I did today. So you saw me, I think you saw me make this one. No, maybe not. I don't remember. No, I don't think you did. These are ones that I did using the Vicky Bouton powder. I sprinkled it on, then put white paint on, and then did it. Something stuck right there. And then this one I did the same thing, but then I used my alphabet stamp and stamped over it. So that one's actually quite cool. And this is on heavy cardstock, so this might be like the cover of my little art journal. So I did that one, and then let's see here. I did some of these over here. These ones I'm actually going to leave the way they are. They're very pale pastel. But there's that one. There, that's just a brayer sheet. But this was the jelly print, and this was just one to clean the plate. And you can't maybe see it. Yeah, you can see it. See how it's darker here? I can actually feel that. That actually bumps up because that's the crud that was left on my jelly plate. And then this one you saw, I think it was the first one I did that had the gold specks. Yeah, you can see it in the light now. The gold that I had left on my jelly plate, and that's just the brayer sheet. And then I have this one. This is only one-sided. I'll have to do something with the other side. You did see me do that one. And then this one that I just did. And then, of course, this one, which I think is really cool now that it's got the red and the orange on it. Because remember, that was just the blue, or the greens and the blue. And then I did this one too. This is only one-sided. So guys, if you have a jelly plate, get it out, have some fun with it. Just my advice is just don't overwhelm yourself with too many supplies at one time. Just stick with a couple paints or a couple, one type of medium or anything like white acrylic paint. What I was doing was white acrylic paint with these powders, Don't use every color you have and everything. Don't use every stamp you have, every stencil you have. With stamps, I am stamping off on my side paper after I use them, so it removes a lot of the crud. But if you're using stencils, you may want to have a little tub of water that will fit the stencils on your desk, because if you leave the paint on the stencils, it can ruin your stencils, and they are expensive, so you don't want to do that. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. The next couple videos might be doing some projects with the jelly plates, like making the little art journal. And then I thought about something this morning about making some embellishments using jelly plates too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And guys, until the next video, I hope you all are truly blessed. Bye-bye.